I wanted to be an astronaut. But unfortunately, at age 10, I was bigger than the Mercury space capsule. The father of telemedicine, Jay Sanders, I have been impressed with him ever since I read about the great work he did in Georgia. And I had not seen Jay in a while. So he was talking, and I walked up behind him, and I put my arms around him, and he disappeared. Obviously, I had him reappear, and so you were able to see him today. This is a moving moment for me, because whatever I am, there are people in this audience that made me. Like my good friend Ron Merrill, my boss at Yale. As I walked into his office, I remember, he's a good old boy from Birmingham, Alabama. And I'm a good old boy from Moorhead, Mississippi. And I told him of all these ideas that I had been working on and that I was ready to prosecute. And I'll never forget, he looked at me, he said, son, I'm going to be 100% behind you. Just don't let me have to come get you out of jail. So Ron, I fulfilled my promise. You didn't have to come to jail and get me out. Thank God for that. But today, as I look at all of you, I am in awe. I really am in awe. Because I remember 1993. When John and Jay and a lot of you out there on the board stood forth and said, we are going to organize and we will have telemedicine part of Main Street. No one at that time knew how long it would take. But the good thing about that is that those founding fathers and mothers did not care. So I remember 1993. And now fast forward to 2012, healthcare is now a marquee item of interest. A marquee item. And the good thing is that the solution will not be accomplished by traditional means. The way we have been doing healthcare for all these centuries will not get the job done. Our planet is in need of a win. Those of you out there, the leadership of the HEA as an organization, and you are going to deliver. Because now is our time, and we shall prevail. So right now, I want you to just give yourself one resounding bit of applause. Come on, give yourself. I'm going to take a little time right now. John and Bernard asked me, Butch, we want to know a little bit about your journey. We want you to personalize the crusade of telemedicine. So if you don't mind, I won't, as we say down south, blow moonbeams off my own butt. I'll explain the whole origin later. I just want to take time, Dr. Latifi, to do what I taught you in Yale. We're going to share a little bit. We're just going to share a little bit. I'm going to share a little bit of my journey because, quite frankly, the HEA has come a long way, and I cannot help but become very nostalgic. I cannot help it, so bear with me. This is my first venture with Operation House Call. It was a documentary on the Learning Channel showing how you can use a POTS line with proper procedure to take care of people who had chronic, non-healing wounds. We won a Smithsonian Technical Award for achieving And boy, the bug really had me intimately intertwined. And now I said, well, we need to be able to capture those surgical consults and give people better service and help the primary care physician. So now we then journey to develop a concept called scat surge. That's right. The surgeons on call for the primary care physician using cost-effective technology to give them an answer now. But then it didn't stop at that. Dr. Nero can identify the whole Yale team, Operation Rainforest, using the only POTS line in Sakua, 8,000 feet above sea level, to do preoperative screening, while they brought a $150,000 surgical vehicle, and then telemetry and performing laparoscopic cholecystectomies 8,000 feet above sea level. But then, this was the crown jewel. Taking a surgeon that could not perform an operation, that could not even sew a suture, and in 4 days, take them through a training course to be able to achieve a laparoscopic distal fundoplication, one of the most difficult procedures we have. Take a listen. We can have audio. So we had to do the preoperative visits by MRSAT-SATCOM, bouncing a signal off a bird 23,000 miles up. And so here we are performing that visit, and we did the data on the patients, and they thought that it was special, that they were using technology to bring them this care.
This next patient, over. This is he's a 55-year-old horse trainer who, for all of his life, had heart.
So now the moment of truth in the operating room with Esau, our robotic arm being manipulated by me over 2,000 miles away.
Round 4, you look tentative. What is the problem? Over. I look timid, I am timid. Why are you timid? Over. I don't feel comfortable. I don't know where I am. Let's stop and let's find out where we are. Now look at the telestrator, and here you have nicely separated out the right clues. Do you agree? Over. Okay, the light, which starts here, shows a beautiful outline of the esophagus. Do you agree? What I need you to do is this area. This is the area you fear. Is that correct? Over. That's correct. Over. You're not feeling comfortable because your right hand is not aggressively giving countertraction to the esophagus by lifting up and lateral. Over. Okay. So go in. Over. Right. Go in. Lift up. Now suction. Suction.
Initial program of the Discovery Health Channel. There were 12.5 million people that witnessed that. This man could not sew a knot in 10 minutes. He never done this operation with open surgery or laparoscopic surgery. And we were able to get the job done. Otherwise, this patient would have been operated on without the benefit of my experience. Now, we've gone on and done other things that you've heard about, using low bandwidth telemedicine to mass screen athletes for cardiac defects. We've had Operation Well-Baby in Antigua, teaching people how to use handheld ultrasound for well-baby checks. Yes. I've done a lot of things. But quite frankly, I had to keep doing a lot of things, and I had to keep proving it. And we continued to write in all the traditional literature where it was tough sledding. Not telemedical-based periodicals, but the creme de la creme. And frankly, despite all that, I'm just not impressed with any of my efforts. Maybe there are some of you out there who feel the same way. They have the same reoccurring nightmare. And this is my nightmare. That I dream that I'm floating above a cemetery scene. And I have died. And as the last shovel of dirt was thrown on my casket, and the last person left, I zoomed in on the headstone. And this is what that headstone read. Here lies Dr. Butch Ross. He was almost useful. Some of you are the same way. You've done a lot, but in the quiet of the night, you feel like you failed. And that's where I was 6 years ago. Because all I did was I was Captain Kirk on the Starship Enterprise, and I was an explorer. And my mantra was demo or die. But right now, I know in my heart you can demo yourself to death. Right now, what we should be worried about and concentrating on with all our heart and all our efforts, we must deploy with scale. Now is our time. This planet needs a win. And you are the team that's going to grant it. I've been an explorer and not a colonizer. And today this movement, yes, I use the M word, this movement needs colonization. When staring at the reality of my helpless and failure, I could let this feeling of despair be an architect of my demise, or it could be a dress rehearsal for success. You see, disappointment in oneself has a way of sometimes crystallizing one's solidarity of purpose. And that happened to me on my own Damascus Road. You see, what I have to come to grips with is that imperfection should not disqualify me from the fight. The only perfect men and women are in the movies, and we're running out of those.